the example of the ownership perhaps wanting someone that they know and they can trust, it feels like now that might be a modern football approach, but it's one that some Chelsea fans feel a bit uneasy about.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the modern game now, it really is shifting. It's going away from the Ancelottis, the Jose Mourinhos. That era, it was magnificent, by the way. But football is shifting, and I think what we've seen, Arteta is number one culprit because of what happened. He had his relationship with Pep. Done extremely well working under Pep, then he's gone to Arsenal. And you can see exactly what Arsenal have done. Arsenal right now are probably, Joe and I were talking before the show, about how well they are set now. This squad is built to win the biggest honours. And that takes time. And the problem that you've got is when you go to a young coach, Joe just mentioned there about going into that first training session. Rosenior's got to go in now and he's got to speak to Enzo Fernandez, World Cup winner. You know, Moises Caicedo, one of the most expensive midfielders in the world. Cole Palmer, potentially one of the best players in the world. And he's got to get his message across quite quickly because when I played, and Jody would have played as well, your first... The manager you tend to get was one vastly experienced.
Yeah.
That you're waiting for them to inspire and get the best out of you. This is very, very different. This is a young coach. He has coached, by the way, the youngest squad in all the top 5 divisions in Strasbourg in Europe. So he is used to coaching young players, getting the best out of them. And from what I've seen, and it's seen a huge amount of French football, his reputation is very, very high. So I think that pathway was always there. But of course, when you're managing Chelsea, it's so different. It's a totally different animal to Strasbourg.
Well, they're the two things, aren't they? They're the two things that Liam Rosenior's going to have to do. It's one, it's going to be about his approach, how he's going to manage players that have accomplished more as a player than he has, which is, not unfair to say.
And also not
secondly,
uncommon.
No, not uncommon, absolutely. But also his versatility, right? And his ability to adapt, because that was the one thing that Graham Potter, we felt as fans, struggled a little bit. When you're trying to tell Raheem Sterling how to play wing-back, that doesn't quite tick the box you're after, right?
A few other issues as well, but...
yeah, exactly. But that for me is going to be where the next big tick will be next to Liam Rosenior, right? It will be about his adaptability, and from everything we've seen, the way that he communicates, the way he speaks to people, that's something that he has in abundance.
Yeah, I mean, when you've seen his interviews and when he talks to press and even the little halftime changing room videos, he comes across very well. I think it's something he's done even when he was a pundit as well, going into coaching. I think he talks about football beautifully. I think he's able to get his message across, his understanding of the game. He's able to articulate it in a way where you get a balanced view and you understand both sides from him as well. And you can, it's no surprise that he's been able to do and translate that into coaching so well. And so I think, from that side of things, Chelsea fans definitely have something to look forward to. And look, I'm sure he's not naive to assume that, it's going to be different talking to this Chelsea squad and a room full of internationals, and we mentioned the likes of Cole Palmer, so on and so forth, over £100 million on someone like Caicedo. But I guess for him as well, it's about still working in this structure. I think that's probably kind of what ended up getting Maresca the boot in the end. It's keeping within this structure and making sure that the guys above you are also happy with their decisions.
That's it, isn't it? That's what...
It's managing upwards
as well
now.
That's what the people online that are against the decision will say, that Liam Rosenior is a yes man that is already under the umbrella that can come in and do that.
But he'll communicate it a lot better than Enzo Maresca did to the... I think that's where Zach was leading with... If you're a Chelsea fan, I think you're going to understand what's going on at the football club a lot better with Liam communicating it to you.
Because he's eloquent and he can...
And also, he knows how it works anyway. So
process.
We'll get a better view of kind of what's going on, albeit I'm sure it ain't all going to be roses. Football never is. But like I said, I just think from a Chelsea fan, we'll maybe get a little bit more from Liam with regards to how kind of everything's going on. And I think that's what you want as a fan, is that you like to know as much information as possible.
Sorry, I was just going to... One of the things that I think is crucial for him, and I think actually under the new ownership... I say new, it's been... God knows how many years. But under this ownership, one of the things that I think managers have struggled with for a few years now is not actually building that connection with the fans.
100%.
Tuchel did an amazing job. Obviously, it was helped with winning the Champions League. You guys and Lampard, obviously there was always that connection there. Potter, I think, really struggled with that. I think Poch at times had a little bit of that, but ultimately
got it towards the end, didn't he?
Towards the end, however,
yeah.
you know, after that 5-0 defeat to Arsenal, he could have gone then, to be honest. And Maresca, there were times he was close, and then there were other times where he was just nowhere near. And you know, we saw that what happened with that Cole Palmer substitution as well. Maybe that was kind of him at the end thinking, you know what, I can't keep doing this if I'm being forced to make these subs and then getting the blame for it. But I think something that he could go in with straight away, and it's not going to happen instantly, he's going to have to build it, but that he should work on is having that relationship, especially with the Stamford Bridge crowd. Because it really is like the 12th man. I always think sometimes, I go back to the game, I think you were probably in the dugout there with Lampard, of Chelsea against Ajax.
4-4.
4-4.
Yeah.
One of the best atmospheres I've ever been a part of. Obviously, Ajax had a man sent off and so on and so forth. But I do think, like, when you can have the crowd on side with you, it is a super intimidating place to come to, Stamford Bridge. And if he can do that and get the fan base on side, and obviously, ultimately, it's down to results. But he can do that.
Can I just say also,
fantastic.
because it's not Liam Rosenior's fault that he's found himself in this situation.
100%.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay, and we all have, most of my mates are Chelsea fans, right? And I get all of those little WhatsApp messages and, you know, complain about this, complain about that. Largely, I think what we all need to do is, because he's still a young man, he's obviously hugely ambitious, articulate, as we've highlighted there. We've seen him on Sky, they've seen the speeches. I think as a fan base, we've got to make sure we make this as easy for him, because this is a tough gig. This is coming in halfway through a season at any football club's tough.
Yeah, good point.
But right here, right now, as a fan base, as a collective, behind him as a manager and the team, and I don't expect anything different, by the way, because I expect the Chelsea fans to do that, because we're a loyal bunch. But this one here right now, because I don't know what the length of the contract is going to be, but these next 4 months are so big for so many different reasons. He has got 8 games now, I think, 8 taken away, in all 4 competitions. He's got an FA Cup game, first game in charge. It's Arsenal semi-final. He's got the second leg. Then he's got Champions League. We don't know what's happening there. That might be out of our reach. Then he's got these unbelievable games in the Premier League to try and get top 4, top 5. And I think, from my point of view, he has got my 100% backing. 100% backing.
Do expectations change, though? Like, you know, at the start of the season, we were saying, you know, it has to be Champions League qualification.
I don't think they do.
And possibly a trophy.
No,
it's still the same expectations.
My expectations have not changed, because
They shouldn't.
the squad is more than capable. Our problem isn't playing against. We saw against.
Well, they just went away to City, without a manager and got a draw.
I mean, Charlton away, you think, dear. I mean, to be honest with you, my expectations at City away were very low, were really low, and I was so proud of what I saw. But over the next 8 games, going into February, these are huge games for us as a club, as a fan base, for him as a manager, and I can't honestly. I'm really excited about it as well. But change is always difficult. But I'm excited.